Hi guys, it's been a long time since I've posted anything, so I really wanted just to get something up there on YouTube to let you guys know that I'm still kicking about. As mentioned in my last video, I was doing a musical. I was directing a musical, and that's now all over, and had rave reviews, and people loved it, and which was really good. And it was all fantastic fun, but that's all over now. So I'm back into organising the layout and packing things away. What you can see in front of you is a lot of resin buildings, and I'll explain that in just a second. First of all, an update on the layout. So the layout, as mentioned in the last video, has been deconstructed, or is in the process of being deconstructed at the very least. Taking off all of the electrical bits and pieces, all of the stuck down bits. I'll then tackle some of the track. There'll be some of the track that will be usable again. I won't keep any of the flexi track. I'll get all that stuff new. But still a lot of wiring to dismantle and take down. And you want to try and reclaim as much as you can. Obviously, it's a pretty expensive hobby, so if you can reuse items, that's what you want to do. I had to cut the boat out of the resin that I had down there. So that is safe and sound. So as you can see, in 4 parts, and taken mostly apart. I've reclaimed all the trees and everything like that. So the plan now is to remove what wires and track I'm going to keep and pop those away. And remove the tops. I'll put those on the burn pile and the backdrops and everything, of course. Dismantle the actual table sections. I'll keep all of that wood because, as you know, I'll be rebuilding the layout. We're in the process of not moving yet, but we will be once our house is ready to go. So that'll be probably early in the new year, I think. So there'll be no immediate rush to start the layout, but I'll put up a couple of videos along the way just with a few other bits and bobs regards model trains. So that's where I'm at with dismantling the layout. Still a few days left to go on that one. The reason I've got all of my resin buildings and a couple of accessories out here is for a couple of reasons, really. The main reason is that I've got all of these plastic tubs that I've got all of my model train stuff stored in. And I was thinking to myself, gee, there's a lot of tubs there. Surely I can make room somehow. Anyway, what I realised was I'd packed away a lot of the resin buildings by themselves when they actually had boxes, and the boxes were packed away separately in other boxes. So I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll get everything out onto a table. I'll figure out what's got boxes and what doesn't, and I'll put everything back in their boxes, and it just saves space. And then I can utilise those other boxes for things like the hedges and trees, which I've taken down, which I had no space for, and just make sure everything's packed up nice and neat. The other reason that I had everything out was I thought, well, while I've got it out, or the main reason for bringing it out was to pack it away, but when I had it out, I thought, well, while it's out, I might as well sort of catalogue it and see exactly what I've got. In readiness for the new layout, and if there's anything surplus that I can sort of sell off and that sort of thing. But and I thought, well, I'll catalogue it, and while I'm doing that, I'll show you guys what I've got if you're interested. You may not be interested, but I thought, well, I'll show you and let you know what I've got for the next layout. A lot of it you've already seen. So we've got the railwayman's arms, I've got the fuel depot, these shelter and stores, Nissan hut and everything you've seen. I've got the mill house in here. St Mary's Church, which wasn't on the last layout, it probably will be on the new one. I picked up this Oak Hill Brewery, which is Bachmann Scene Craft are an interesting one. There's not heaps of Bachmann Scene Craft buildings that I really like, but every now and then they produce one which is just absolutely gorgeous, and this one here is no exception. This one is just a really gorgeous building. So when I saw that, I had to snap that up. I've got an office building here as well. That was on the other layout. While I got the brewery warehouse, I decided to get the drying kiln as well, which is the seller was selling. The same seller was selling. I've got the. I love this little pendant cottage. Again, a really good Bachmann Scenecraft building. The footbridge there. We've got a works office. A few of these things I've picked up recently. I've got the King's Arms Public House. Got the office, not the office, the factory building there. And over here I've got waiting room, a couple of signal boxes, a few water towers, little greenhouse there, little restaurant, little Scaledale restaurant. Sorry, it's not a restaurant, it's a pub. You never have too many pubs. We've got the police station and a little pillbox at the back there. The waiting room, country garage, Field Marshal Fock. Careful the way we say that. And Goatland Church. I got this actually not long ago. Again, another Scenecraft building that I just fell in love with when I saw it. It's just got beautiful detail and it's just beautiful coloration. And just a gorgeous building. So I grabbed that, as I did with the Birch Hall Inn, which again is just stunning. These sorts of buildings I can look at like a painting. You know, I just love looking at them. They're just beautiful, beautifully made and detailed buildings. As you can see, when I'm between layouts, one of my problems is that I become something of a collector. So when I don't have a layout running, I troll eBay and I think, oh, I don't have that building yet. Oh, that's pretty cheap. Oh, that's too cheap to pass up. I'll buy it. And then you end up being a bit of a collector of buildings that you may or may not use. It's a fine line between being a collector and a hoarder, I suppose, isn't there? But I like to think of it as being a collector. I've got the washing plant from Bachmann as well. I got that really, really cheap. It's not in the best condition. It's not bad. It's not in the best condition, but I got it really cheap, and I thought, oh well, it's it was at the right price. I also got this really cheap too. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got it. But I just thought I'll marry that up to some of the Metcalfe stuff that I've got. Low relief modern townhouses. What I plan to do as well is I plan to also do a similar video to this with the Metcalfe stuff that I've got and other buildings because I want to catalogue them as well. But that'll be another day and another video. I've got the NER station building. Again, love it. I love this one, and I've been looking for it for ages. The box is really tatty. That's okay. I'm not massively into boxes, but the actual building itself, oh man, it's just gorgeous. So I had to have that that'll be a country station. Gone overboard on engine sheds for sure. I've got 2 of these ones, and I've got 2 of the Magna engine sheds. There is actually another one in that box there, so I don't have a box for this fella. And then I saw this cheap on eBay as well, a good shed. I'd always wanted sort of a Scaledale good shed, but I just saw that one cheap, and I thought, oh well, I'll get that while it's there. It's shocking, isn't it? I shouldn't do it, but it's just what happens. And also, Bellamy's office building. I'd seen this on so many of your layouts, and I just thought it's just a really cool building. I thought I've got to see if I can pick one of those up. And again, there's a cheap one that came up. I've got the bus depot there. That's one of my sister-in-law makes those steel signs. If you want steel signs of anything that you can stick on your layout, let me know because I'll pass the details on. I've got one of these cattle sheds. Again, that was a cheapie. House under construction, Bachmann. And I've got the fuel storage there as well. Needs a good old clean on the top of that. Again, one of the problems about being out in the garage, everything got very dirty. Country fire station. Cool little model, that one. And I've got this one's a little bit of an oddball. This one's one of those I've gone blank. Who makes it? You guys will know. Anyway, it's not Bachmann, it's not Hornby, and it's blah, and I can't think of what it is. Yeah, but that one's a double engine shed, and it was in pretty good nick. I'm not a massive fan of these particular models because they're not detailed very well. And they're, this is my opinion only, obviously, but I just don't think they're detailed all that well on that. But I think with a bit of weathering and stuff like that, they'll probably come up pretty well. And it's not a bad little structure, that one. So that is sort of my buildings component of it. Now I'll show you what I've got insofar as canals are concerned. So I'll tell you the story about how this started. I got onto eBay one day and I saw that somebody was selling a pair of canal bridge ramps and a canal bridge. And I thought, beauty, that is perfect because I want a canal on my layout. Anyway, I put bids on both and I was winning both and I thought, here we go, beautiful. Anyway, somebody came in higher and got the canal bridge, and I ended up with the ramps and nothing to do with them, so they ended up sitting in a box. And I have been looking and looking and looking for a canal bridge to come up so that I can marry that up with this. For the next layout, of course, because this was supposed to go on Delsbury Hill. Now it's going to go on the next Delsbury Hill. Anyway, I saw something come up. Somebody had a canal bridge come up. I thought, beautiful. That's perfect. The catch was, it was pretty expensive because it came with all of this. So then I find myself being a little bit overstocked in canal bridge ramps by one unit, really, which I'll probably sell off. But when I say this was expensive, it was actually very, very cheap for what it is. It was being sold by a lovely fella who I chatted with about it quite a bit. He was a passionate collector. Wasn't so much interested in model railways. He was actually obviously more interested in canals. As you can see, he's got he had a beautiful collection there, and I assured him that it was going to a good home and that I would certainly get some brilliant use out of it, which I will on the new layout. The prize part of this collection is the lock chamber, rare as hen's teeth, and all the components that actually go with it. There's all the little bits and pieces in there. But this is it's just a stunning little piece. And it is going to look really magnificent, I think, on the layout. Also, he had a bunch of canal boats as well, which are, as you can see from SM Model Railways in the UK. In total, there's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those type. And then I already had the 2 Scaledale resin canal boats. So fair to say, canal boats wise, I'm probably got a fairly good little fleet there. In the collection as well came the lock side stores. As you saw, it's got the canal bridge, which has the bridge adapter already connected to this one. It does come off, but it's already on there. In that box there is another canal bridge. So there's the 2 canal bridges. And so we have the 2 sets of ramps for those bridges, plus I've got the additional bridge ramps, which I'll, as I say, I'll sell on. It also came with a lockkeeper's cottage, which for a long time has been one of my favourite little structures that Scaledale have produced. Again, it's beautiful colouring. It's just a beautiful little structure, so that came with it as well, which I was really happy about. And then, of course, we have all the sundry items. So, bridge ramp adapter, 2 of those. Obviously, there's 2 bridges. Straight roads, I probably won't use those, but I'll keep them back there safe. Obviously in the box. Bridge adapter, another bridge adapter for the other bridge, and 1, 2. Sorry about the light flash there. 1, 2, 3, 4 canal straights. So all in all, a pretty good buy on that one, and one that I was very, very, I suppose, lucky to win, but also, very grateful to the seller for selling, because he's put a lot of time and effort. It's spent him 5 years to actually get this collection up, I'll certainly be making good use of that, I'll be sending some pics through to him as well once I've set that up so that he can see how his collection looks in action. So guys, that concludes the building part of what I have. I've got to catalogue a lot of other things. I've got bits and pieces in boxes here, there and everywhere. I've got all my locos and everything. Just weird stuff that I buy off eBay when I see it cheap. I love these foam walls, but I hadn't had one. And I saw that one cheap and I got it. Not exactly sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but and I've got all these boxes are filled with Metcalf buildings and and scenery items, same as those ones. These little boxes here have all of the things off the layout, all of the little details of the platform detailing and people and items like that. And then again, in these ones, there's more cars. I've collected a lot of cars over the time between layouts. A lot of them are actually up here, and I've got the Magna Rail stuff there as well. A Shore Clyde from Magna Rail Oz that I will put this on the new layout, I promise you. I can't wait to see it actually. I picked this up the other day, which I thought was pretty cool. The little light up clock and light up phone box. Yeah, it was just something sort of odd that I saw come up, and I thought, no one's bidding on it. It's pretty cheap. I reckon that looks pretty cool on the layout. So I bought that. I've got just bags of people that I've bought. Just, yeah, just a lot of cool stuff, which every time I kind of look in the boxes, it's kind of like Christmas, because I just forget sort of the little intricate bits and pieces that are there. But I want to find a place for everything on the layout though. I might show you guys some of that sort of later on. If you're interested, you may not be, but just from a cataloguing point of view, I'll probably get it out anyway and do that. Anyway, guys, it really just to say that I'm back and I've been watching your videos. I've been chatting with a few of you, and sometimes I don't always comment on the videos, but I'm watching heaps and they go, man, there's some good stuff going on out there. There's some fantastic layouts, some really good train spotting day videos, rail fanning videos as well, that I really enjoy. And yeah, it's just really cool to see so much stuff going on. So I'm going to be glad to get back into it again, I think, and really sort of feel like I'm part of the team again. Anyway, take care, guys, and yeah, hope to catch up with you all soon. And yeah, I'll enjoy watching your videos in the meantime. Cheers.